Minnesota Congressman Matt Gaetz filed an ethics complaint with the House Ethics Committee against former Speaker Kevin McCarthy for allegedly elbowing fellow Congressman Tim Burchett in the kidney. In a letter, Gaetz wrote, quote, "This incident deserves immediate and swift investigation by the Ethics Committee. Congress has seen a substantial increase in breaches of decorum, unlike anything we've ever seen since the pre-Civil War era."
McCarthy vehemently denied the Tennessee lawmaker's accusation that the former speaker intentionally elbowed his back. Let's watch.
A reporter was interviewing Burchett or something. I guess our shoulders hit because Burchett runs up to me after. I didn't know what he was talking about. Some reporters asked me. I did not run and hit the guy. I did not kidney punch him. I did not shoot anything like that.
You didn't shove him?
No. If I would hit somebody, they would know I hit him.
He said he knew you. He said he was in pain that you hit him so hard in the kidneys.
Come on now.
That's what he said.
Okay. That's far from that.
Burchett, who voted to oust McCarthy some weeks back, isn't the only one who's accused the ex-speaker of getting physical. Apparently, Congressman Kinzinger of Illinois did so as well.
Congressman Kinzinger wrote that you pushed him twice while he was in Congress in the chamber.
When have I pushed him?
Kinzinger said he was in the back railing once and you elbowed him and pushed him.
You said
and then
Gaetz.
Kinzinger.
Oh, no, I don't know about Kinzinger.
Congressman Gaetz, though, is filing or submitting a complaint to the Ethics Committee over this issue. Do you have any response to Congressman Gaetz?
No, I think ethics is a good place for Gaetz to be.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I mean, this story has gotten completely out of control. I am really curious to see what this investigation starts to look like.
I mean, the problem for this is a he said, except that there was an NPR reporter who witnessed it, who has said very clearly that Tim Burchett was knocked forward toward her.
Yeah.
Again, that's an eyewitness account. It's hard to believe she's in it with Burchett or something. That starts to strain credulity. So
also, we just went through 1-6. As far as I understand it, there's cameras all over the place. We had all the footage.
Oh, that would
of,
be great.
What was it? Tom Cotton running back and forth in the hallway. Mitt Romney escaping. I want to know if there's a
Nancy Pelosi wouldn't have let you see that, but it's the people's house now, so we're going to find out the truth.
Tucker Carlson, get us the tape.
Cards on the table. I don't believe McCarthy. I absolutely believe Tim Burchett because it's. I mean, what's more likely? What did the NPR reporter just fabricated? I mean, she described him as being knocked forward and surprised. If you just elbow something like your shoulders are brushing, it wouldn't be the same effect.
Okay, well, I think it can be somewhere in between. I do think that this detail of it being a kidney punch is a very well-calculated escalation of what probably happened.
I don't know.
Which is, you bump into someone, I don't know where you make physical contact. Anywhere in your midsection, you're going to call it a kidney punch. That makes it sound more purposeful and like it was targeted to actually maim than perhaps it was. It could have just been a frustrated jostle, which again isn't appropriate, but does have a different kind of a color than like a kidney
I have
jab.
zero tolerance for physical violence, and for I mean, if it was an accident, if you just swept past him and accidentally they hit shoulders or something, then he could just say, "Sorry, dude," and there would not be a news cycle. But that is, again, that's not what the witness describes.
Well, I am curious. Did the witness say anything about Burchett saying, "Hey, oi, what's going on?" and whether or not there was a reaction from McCarthy in the moment? Because again, if no one thought enough to say anything at the time, that also does say.
Well, no. The witness said that at first Burchett tried to play it off like. Because he was so taken by surprise, said something like, "Oh, didn't mean to elbow you," like was turning it on him, like, "Well, so sorry, I ran into you," and then he got no reaction from McCarthy. McCarthy was just on his way, and then he got upset and he chased after him.
I wonder if McCarthy's non-answer made him then believe it was truly purposeful.
Right. I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. It would have been like, "Oh, sorry, you didn't see me walk in there," and then he was expecting some kind of jocular response and didn't get it. I don't know.
This follow-up claim, because the fact that it's corroborated does make, or that someone else says that McCarthy has jostled them in the past, does say, well, maybe this is a pattern of behavior. But also, I will say, I found his reaction in that clip to seem genuine. Like, what? And look, it would be the first time that people gaslit someone efficiently, because you're inclined to believe that no one would make up something that crazy, but sometimes that's the time when you make stuff up.
I have no basis for this, but I didn't believe him. Listening to him, I didn't find what he was saying believable. I didn't like that line of like, oh, if I hit you, you'd know. So you think about hitting people all the time?
Ridiculous. It's silly.
Matt Gaetz is totally right. There should be this is a legitimate grounds for an ethics complaint. Is physical violence. Obviously they're in different factions. They hate McCarthy. McCarthy hates them. But just because McCarthy is mad at them because they destroyed his precious little House Speaker career is not an excuse to start hitting people. Allegedly.
Yeah, and I will say that when the reporter said to him, well, there's going to be an ethics investigation, I did find his good weak and like he seems worried.
Yeah, he has anger issues. Got to do some yoga, do some breathing like this.
Cat cow, McCarthy, cat cow.
And then you're fine. I got to do it sometimes on this show, and that's just my advice for keeping cool.
All right. Well, meanwhile, the House did get down to some business. They voted to avert a shutdown just days before the deadline in a 336 to 95 vote. They passed a two-step stopgap continuing resolution with two Democrats, Representatives Jake Auchincloss and Mike Quigley opposing, along with 93 Republicans. The unusual measure funds the funding at existing current levels into next year for some programs and February 2nd for all programs. The continuing resolution will now go to the Senate,
where they will for sure sign off on it. The House is the bigger issue. This is how we do the budget now. We just keep kicking the can down the road because we have this bitterly divided government where when Democrats are in charge, Republicans are furious about the spending and want to get everything under control. And then when Republicans are in charge, they're not going to do anything about the spending anyway. And Democrats don't really object to spending. So you have it, when the split's like this, you have a lot of performative, we got to fix things we would have no intention of fixing if we had power.
Look, I'm just glad that they could put the beating sticks and the maces and the fisticuffs down just long enough to get some real congressional business done.
A mace. Maybe they should play D&D. There you have to make an attack roll, the D20, to see if you hit, and then you can roll for damage with a Morning Star, maybe a shillelagh. One of my players loves a shillelagh. Okay, this has gotten out of hand. We'll have more Rising right after this.